Hey, can you guys hear now? Okay, great. Excellent. I don't know why that keeps happening though. For some reason, like every now and then when I log in OBS, it disconnects my microphone. I don't know why it keeps doing that. But okay, but at least now I'm ready to go now. So thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that. So I figured what I'll do is try to do something a little bit more simple today because I was trying to figure out what to draw. But I figured I'll probably do like kind of an old school type of like Disney character. I think I'll probably do the walrus. So I hope you guys are having a great week. Mine has been kind of pretty busy for the most part. So I meant to have, because what was one thing I was going to mention? Because I think, of course, usual I had to work a little. I had work. I got work from home briefly because those who already know since I'm here in Atlanta, supposed to be at because yesterday had the games going on. So on days since they had for the semifinals, I was actually going to work on remotely this go around. So as a result, I actually had to work from home, which I kind of like. At least I don't worry about getting in like or have to get in earlier from work. I think I was kind of drawing a wall now, so one here in case that's was wondering who I'm drawing here. Alright, Jeff, good reason jumping to the I wrote a story about here. Oh, nice! Oh, good, good. Yeah, I can't wait to see it once you post it, if you have posted already. Yeah, because I haven't seen a lot of your new stuff you posted lately on Blue Sky. I really am liking how a lot of your new stuff is kind of utilizing like little backgrounds. Really kind of makes the artwork kind of definitely actually pop a lot more. I think it's really nice. So still saw some sort of like a rough kind of gesture drawing here. Let me kind of readjust it so you guys can see us a little bit better. Okay, excellent. Let me see something. There's something I was trying to find. Give me just one moment. I think we gotta get his eyes here. Yeah, I figure I just kind of take the day to kind of like really kind of make things stuff a little more simpler day before I was drawing. Project I don't think I've ever really drawn before. Well, even as a character, I don't think I've ever drawn on here before. And also today where I was, it hasn't been too. It hasn't really been too wet here lately because I don't think it really rained, as much. Let me see. So let me kind of get the back of his head here. Then he kind of has he's got a chin that kind of comes out of the bottom here. That's right, because he's got the That's right, because he's got part of the but the collarbone. I'm sure that kind of comes up. So now let me kind of get the lip of his head here. Let me kind of get part where his arms are supposed to go. And I know that's I forgot there's a little fold that kind of goes around the little pleats of where his arms and shoulder are. I think that's one thing sometimes I have trouble with sometimes when drawing characters. I want to get the shoulders to look right. Especially when drawing characters where they're wearing like suits. Because sometimes of course suits they have those kind of pleats, but those kind of pleats in the middle between from the neck and where the arm starts. They have a little bow tie, even though I think in the original shot has a little bow tie kind of a little bit here. We gotta get his other arm here too. And we kind of get his other fingers here. Cause I didn't realize, with Water Guy, it's actually one of few characters, at least I know of, at least in these old class videos, would actually have 5 fingers instead of 4. First time I'm wondering, yeah, most definitely, it's definitely Walls and Copter. One of my favorite secrets in the movie. I know if I mentioned it before, but definitely I was wondering, it's definitely one of those movies I saw a lot growing up on TV. But it's funny, I never got around to really seeing on VHS as much because I always saw it on TV most of the time. And fun fact, to my recollection, Allison, when it was actually one of the first, if not the first, like Disney movie to actually air on television in the 50s. The reason why it was that is because for a long time Disney was very against having their movies air on television. Because keep in mind, remember, a lot of these movies came out. They came out, in theaters, and they got their fame and money in the theaters, and they felt, by probably releasing them on TV, it would kind of cheapen the brand. So it was a while before they finally got around to really doing that. I think it was I think it was I also went on was first. I think they did Dumbo next, afterwards, and then it went until later on when finally started airing some of the other stuff. Yeah, remember they took a long time to really get around to really airing their stuff, and not realizing by airing on TV, now more people can actually see it. They don't have to worry about waiting another couple of years before it gets re-released, because that's the thing, back in the day where if it gets thing, that films really popular, we get released every few years so that we can see it in theaters again. Of course, that's something I wouldn't mind if they still did. Get a chance to really see, a classic in theaters, so you can see how what get the experience of seeing theaters as people did all those years ago. Let me kind of get his little wearable mustache here. Now let me kind of get his other side of his mustache here. Let me get the top of his head here. I'm gonna come down and around. There we go. Then I'll just show you underneath his hat here. Let me get the top of his hat here because top of that's kind of actually kind of top popped off. Get his other hand here. We kind of go up. We get on his finger here. Let me kind of get his finger. Let me get him around here on the edge. There we go. All right, good. Probably should have made that lower. I guess I guess it's okay. You have the folds in front. He wears, his shoes are, because his like pantlets kind of fold down below his ankles a bit. They're a little droopy. kind of go in here. There we go. All right, cool. So now that we got our rough sketch here, so if it's there, yeah, I think when it comes to a lot of the silver era Disney films, yeah, that's one. That was one of my favorite. Now, granted, I'm biased because that's the one I've seen the most, but it's definitely one of the ones I definitely like the best. I think what I will do instead, let me see what time is actually at 19 minutes. Okay, so I'm still good on time. So I think I'll still take this opportunity to actually color this in using the my acrylic markers. So let me see what kind of colors I got on hand for this one. Let me check and see colors about this one. What about this one? Let me see. Yeah, I'm just testing some of these markers, see how they look color wise before I start going in. If I really start going in on them. Okay, I think I know which one I want to use now. All right. Cause I know, like for a walrus, it's brown, but it's got kind of like a pinkish hue to it. You know what? I think I will go and use that brown instead. Yes, I think I'll just use that kind of color in, his face first, and then I'll go over, with the other colors with the lighter colors here. And looking at my knowledge, I think the knowledge, like at least from the ones that I've been getting, like these, they're opaque, but they're not too opaque. So a lot of the lines that I made laying them down, they still show through, so I can actually go back and actually touch up my line work if I need to. I also have other backstories for my characters on Google Docs. Oh, cool! Oh, I didn't realize you did. I did that. That's something I need to start doing now. Is actually start getting a actually like put a lot of my stuff on Google Docs, or at least saving my information, my files in some shape or form. It's a little darker than I intended. Let me see what happens if I try overlapping with these two colors. See how that looks. Sometimes for some of these sometimes for some of these colors, like they're not too opaque, so I can actually kind of mix them together. Yeah, I think I'll just let that dry for right now. I think I'll go and do that. And what I will do next, I'll move on next is to on to the next to was blue shirt. Let me try another. See if I have another blue that's a little darker than that. I wonder how this turns out. You know, the other blue I think I add was a little bit better. I'm just gonna go on these areas and kind of make sure. Ooh, excuse me, sorry. I'm still a little tired. You know, weirdly enough, even I got a little early last night. For some reason, I couldn't get back to. I couldn't get to sleep. Right, it's like one of those weird things where it's like I'll, once you get home late, you're getting ready to head off the bed, but for some reason you can't get to sleep for some odd reason. I've had it happen way too many times than I'd like to admit. Yeah, but I think speaking of Google, that's one thing I need to start doing is that since I probably have a good chunk of my new pick drawings I make are story based. Are story based. I try to again have it really kind of like break write myself down so that way when I get around to working on them, I actually can just get started on versus having to kind of like write about it like as soon as I'm getting ready to post it. All right, looks pretty good. Let's see which one I want to use next. I think I was going to use black if I'm at it. Just use on the areas where I know I'm gonna need it. All right, cool. That one's good. Let me see what color I want to use next. I know I have a kind of like a blue. Those paints are kind of gray, but they're kind of more on the blue, on the bluish gray side of things. That's a little too blue. Let me see if I got something else. Or I can just mix them together. That's probably what I should probably do. Let me try working and see how that looks first before I start going on to a different color. Let me see how that looks. I know his pants are more like a purplish gray. They're not really blue like that. Like, let me see if I have one here that's actually more like that. Let me see. Hang on. Stand by, guys. Okay, yeah, this actually works a lot better. Okay, perfect. All right, cool. Excellent. So that works out much better. Let me see if I have like a kind of a grimy green for the grimy green for a shirt. Should have one. Let me see. Does this work? Let me see. Actually, here's one I got this probably works a little bit better. Ooh, okay, that's very different from what I expected. How I expect this to turn out. You know, I think I'll use that other color I had earlier to kind of go over this. And maybe that'll, at least in the between those colors, that'll probably be a better look for it. Also, glad you guys like the new drawings that I posted. Especially like the new ones I did when you look up, hey on, he's looking handsome and awesome. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was hoping he'd turn out that way. Feeling for like a villainous character like this, and at least in that story, that Clyde really is the villain. You know, he can still look still look handsome. So yeah, I take some figurines from the car boot. Those pictures of figures I love from the car boot too. Oh, cool. Now I used to have a few figurines a while back. Used to have some of different characters. I didn't have that many. Forgot which ones I had though. Now I'm trying to remember them though. So kind of grimy green for a shirt. Let me see. So that looks good. That's good. Oh yeah, this guy has a bright teal for his bow tie, which I should have. Let me see if I can find one. Yeah, here we go. I'm just using kind of cover up, those marks that I made. Cover up some of these like initial marks that I made. Then I'll use kind of a green color for his gloves. Yeah, so I'm really loving how well this has been turning out. Cause I want to do something simple. I had to figure out what it was. I need to get a better job actually kind of really figure out what I'm gonna do beforehand. Because what I might do in the future is I may start doing what I did like a while back, where I could actually have I can actually select certain characters to draw, characters I may want to draw for sharing with you guys to decide which ones you want me to you want to see me do. Walrus, hey Brendan Barney, hello. Good to see you. Yes, indeed it is. Your walls from Walls in the Carpet from Alice in Wonderland. Hey, glad you're able to drop in. Good to see you. Yeah, I figured today I'd do something a little bit than what I did, simpler than what I did the few other days. Plus, I was trying to figure out what to draw, so I figured I'd probably draw him because I don't think I've drawn this guy before. At least I definitely know I haven't drawn him on the stream before. Let me see how bright. Okay, perfect. So this worked. So this color is bright enough because some of these some of these markers sometimes when you actually color they actually come down a lot brighter or darker, than they appear on the actual marker itself. And there I am planning on going back over the line work too. Hey, but I'm glad to see actually I dropped. I'm glad to see you drop in though. It was really good to see you. Do that. Let me get a little kind of a dark red for his nose. If I have one, let me see. Let me see if I got one. Oh, it's a new story idea. Thanksgiving, Chuck sets out to hunt a turkey for Thanksgiving dinner. I know him. I know he'll be successful in doing that. Because we all know with Chuck, once he sets his mind on something, he'll definitely kind of see it through. But also just turkey. But also just turkeys in general. They're always like funny looking creatures anyway. So I tell, I already know that's gonna be a pretty good one. Let me try a different shade of red instead. I'll leave that little section alone because I see the paper starting to come up a bit. I care if it's kind of like that wall. It's like he's got a job be a record keeper. Oh, cool. I think you did show me some stuff of what Silver a while back, didn't you? Yeah, I believe you did. Okay. So that's cool though. Let me see. Oh no, that's a little too. That's not that silver. That's not what I want. I had a dark gray I was trying to use. Here we go. This should be it. Let me see if that's the one. Yeah, this is it. Perfect. Use that for here. Use that for the top of it. The top of his hat. Leaves the top of the hat that's come off. I'll use a lighter shade of gray here for the middle of his hat. Did it? Okay, I thought so. Yeah, I just wanted to be sure. Maybe the lighter shade of gray here. Let me see. Actually, let me check one of my other things. I'm kind of working between a couple of different like a couple of different my marker sets as ones because I'm using one that I found from Ross. I use another one I ordered online. I think another one I found at Marshall's. Excellent. Let me just kind of use this here for on the collars of collar of his shirt. Oh, let me see what y'all said. That Thursday, I drew Barrel Bill stepping on Honey on Friday, Ricardo dancing on Spain record. Thanks on Grandpa. I think I remember you. I think I remember you posting that on Blue Sky. I remember right. I think I remember. I really liked that one. I am not an animal. I am not an animal. Fishy gets turned into a horse to a horse side spirit and then goes to the human side in hopes of finding help. Oh wow. Yeah, so it's almost like that movie Elephant Man in a way, but it's a more lighthearted tone. Well, ooh, that looks like it's gonna be a pretty good one too. We're gonna see how he looked as a human. You have to consider, that Animalville, pretty much everyone for the most part is pretty much animals, at least for the most part. So at least the main characters go. Hang up this one moment. Hang on. Who is that? No. Okay. False alarm, guys. Sorry about that. It was a call. Someone else called me and nobody answered. Yeah, but I like the idea. Yeah, but I like the idea of Brendan. Oh yeah, Brendan. So speaking of Disney, there's stuff I want to show you that I got the other day, and I think you might recognize it. So I recently ordered a new book online, and this is what I ended up getting. Character Crash Course by Eric Goldberg. And so yeah, so all I was talking about animation the other day, I kind of maybe want to go out and actually kind of like check out some of the check out the book by him. I haven't finished going through the whole thing just yet, but it's a lot of really good stuff in here. So I'm really glad that I ended up kind of going and get it. Also, I do appreciate the recommend because I know you mentioned it in the past. Mm-hmm. Cause I know y'all guys have mentioned in the past. I figured maybe it's time I go and actually kind of get it for myself as well. I remember where I found it. I was took time trying to find it because I know people kept a lot of places I kept going to recommend to the Kindle book, but since I don't really have Kindle anymore, I want to have a physical copy because usually when it comes to books, I like having physical copies anyway. So when I found it, I was like, okay, perfect. All right, so now let me find where my ink pens go. Give me just one moment. All right, here they are. Here's that first set. Where's the other set that I was looking for? Gotta say, with old friends like these, Percy Platypus. Oh, cool. An old child friend, showing up visit and Bill. He comes everything, leaving Frank jealous to the river. Aww. Hopefully, it won't be too jealous for. And do too jealous for so long. There's always room for. There's always room for more than one great friend. There's always room for that. So I think what I'm going to do is do it. I'm going to just kind of start with the thick lines first. Let's gonna go around the edge. Just kind of tidy things up. Yeah, I know after this, of course, y'all will have to kind of go in for a workload today. But one thing I did want to mention again earlier, I appreciate you guys like the new arc I posted earlier that I did this week. So I appreciate you guys like the new one I did of Hey Arnold, kids, y'all play more. kind of a rock band. Because that was something I did earlier this week, but also I did this one here. Before Frank Purse with Chuck Bass. Oh, okay. Yeah, so they definitely got a big. So they definitely got like some pretty big history. That's cool though. It actually kind of adds a lot of like back, a lot of bit of layers to their relationship. Then of course this once I did like Lionel McClure dancing too, because like what happened with this was when she started out drawing this guy, it was supposed to be one of like Lionel Hutz dancing, but as I was actually drawing him, it really I found it really didn't look too much. Like, it looked kind of mixed like him and McClure. So I figured rather than start over, I think I was kind of working as is because part of me I started this because I kind of wanted to do a drawing anyway where I did some with more colors of light. So of course you got red, green, and blue, and how they mix together and make different colors. I like how well they actually turned out though. I love background. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I want to kind of do. Honestly, doing that background, that was kind of the main reason I kind of started on that one because I wanted to do something that had more that kind of dark but colorful background. And I thought that'd be a nice kind of change of pace for what I normally do. Because nowadays, if I do backgrounds, I like to do stuff where they're very vibrant or use color in some way. I usually don't like to always stick, with just white backgrounds, even though I am going to be doing that for this one here. I think that's what I'm going to stick with just white for this one here. I do like to have it so my drawings can actually kind of pop in some type of way. So I did that. Let me get one of my smaller pens out. Yeah, the color back is in treble. They thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you guys liked out there. I know it's different from what I normally do, but every now I like to do like switch things up, switch things up every now and then when I want to do backgrounds. So we do that. So now we kind of get we kind of get around the eyebrows here for him. I know he's got a little bit of folds like above his eyebrows. In fact, let me bring these down just a bit because I know his eyebrows kind of really arch down. Let me kind of get around his nose. Let me kind of go around the edge here. There we go. Let me see. What was the Hey Swimmer? Oh, he did. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's really neat. Let me kind of calm down. Let me get his little collar here. Let me get his little bow tie. Yeah, I think for the after, even though I'm using a smaller pen, I'm gonna switch over to probably the larger one just a little bit. Like I say, I always like to kind of do a mixture of both the small and the large pens when it comes to detail. Also, something I was going to mention, I am almost done with the dungeon crawler book. I'm almost done. Well, I still got a little bit more to go, but I'm more than halfway now. And I actually went got the next, or I got the second book, at the bookstore not too long ago. I haven't opened it just yet. I wanted to kind of make sure I finished up the first one before I got into the next one just yet. Dive bomb, toss aim. Oh, it was cool. I like that dive bomb. I like that. Nice. Okay, I get bring back those folds around his pant legs. I know I mentioned earlier during the stream, but yeah, essentially, it's good Simeonton, Simeonton, Simeonton. Okay, what is with me for pronunciation? Hold on, why I'm doing that? Because there's a cute little puppy from the snow who suddenly begins to tear the house apart. I guess that's a rescue him. Oh, that sounds like a little cute one, cute and chaotic in a way. All right, so I almost forgot because I know it's Walrus. He kind of like kind of a patch, on his blazer. So now let me break out my let me get one of my large ones. One that's a little bit thicker. Really, it's kind of going to kind of cover up some of these use it kind of cover some of these more like bare spots that I got going on here. Oh, I realized I forgot. Oh, I forgot his cane that he has. Okay, but I just didn't. I completely forgot about it. Forgot drawing it until now. Oh well, I guess I'll just keep posing without it then. Well, I can't believe I just now noticed I forgot to draw his cane. I'm just kind of going on the edges here. Yeah, but that's been a funny little twist. Bringing a puppy, try to make it do a pet, but only found out it's probably not house trained. It's a little wild puppy. Yeah, dog bar. Oh, a Chartreuse one. Dog bar versus my bubble. I decides the blind pick a random country devise an idea plan for a plan and picks Wilbur. Oh no. I already see how where that's gonna go. He starts on bubbles and tries to use it to put the whole town in a giant boat stay for eternity. Wow. Oh, so it's like a big plan. So it infects the whole town this time. Cool. Let me Let me step back a moment. Let me see how this is looking. So yeah, look at these stories. That reminds me. One of the things I need to start doing more often is really, even though I do write down my story ideas, I need to kind of make like kind of save them on like either like a Google Docs or like a Word doc, so that way I can always go to them in case if I want to, if I need to refer back to them or if I need to add stuff to it. So when I write down notes, because usually if I write down notes, it'll either be in the sketchbooks that I use. Of course, but since I tend to go through sketchbooks pretty often, there's a good chance, like once I'm done with that sketch with whatever notes that I put in there, I'm gonna forget about it until unless I pull it up again. Yeah, that's good. That's good to do that. Especially, if like when I have notes, I try to Google out. Okay, cool. I like that. That's a pretty good system. Because that's the thing. I hadn't really set it for set an exact system for when it comes to my writing in between. Like doing it before I try just writing up my sketch, but first transferring it into like Word docs. Because sometimes I'll write down notes, then type up. Other times the other way around. Where I'll start, typing things up, typing like random ideas up, and now it's kind of build on from there. Especially, if I have like some picture ideas that are kind of based on like story, they're based on story ideas too. Any kind of shady underside, with his jacket. You guys to jot down today when you're out and about. Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of out and yeah, because a lot of times if you're out and about, that's like when the ideas will kind of come to you, and you want to kind of jot it down before you lose it. Because that's kind of part of the reason why I always keep a sketchbook on me anyway. Even if whether it's a writing it or even especially for like a drawing idea too, I'll just kind of write it down so that way I won't forget about it. Like later on down the line. 'Cause I think nothing's worse than having a pretty good idea that you thought about. When you had some downtime, only to forget it because you didn't have something to write it down at a particular moment in time. Need some misses where sometimes I'll probably keep maybe a small little sketch pad. It's called a patch or a little notepad near my bed. When I'm sleeping. Because there been some misses where I've even had like some dreams where it's like, that'd be a cool story idea or something to draw with. Only to completely forget about it. Because of course, once you wake up and you have things to do, you have to forget about it really quick. I think that usually have just based on for pictures on stories. So anything to catch a dolphin. So, oh, cool. Catch a dolphin. I wonder, did you ever show me that one? Because that name sounds familiar. I wonder if you showed me that one. But even if not, that's cool. Cool, you did that though. Because that's one that I want to try getting doing more often. Is doing more drawings based on stories, especially more comic book ones. Because even though I've been doing it already, I just kind of want to get a habit of doing them more often. Oh, the 12th is World Outfit Day. I didn't realize that was an actual holiday, to be honest. Yeah, I think so. Just search the entire thing; it'll come right to you. Okay, I'll definitely check it out a little later on. Once I check it out later on. All right, so I think this. Let me get some of that gel pen to kind of like brighten. I think I made our pupil a little bit too big. Let me get my little gel pen and actually see if I can correct that real quick. All right. Mm, and I'll just go back and kind of like redo it. Let me kind of let this dry for a moment before I start like redoing that pupil. It's I need the job, team. Damn, goodbye. Hey, great to see you, Shay. Glad you were to drop in. I hope to see you again next time. Make it as usually go for that fat on squishy texture. Remember that stuff, family. I remember you mentioning that though, but I think that's actually a good reference to use. If it's used, if you're kind of going for a certain, like look for them. Yeah, it's funny. Some that's so. Even though I don't really use stuff as a reference, I sort of kind of vibe I tend to go for a lot of my characters where they have this round like this round kind of cuddly feel for them. I feel drawing that way. It's always really fun to do. Okay, yeah, that looks much better. I like how. Okay, that looks much better now. Yeah, okay. I believe that actually looks pretty good. That actually looks pretty good. So of course we got our guy, got our Wallace here. It sure is functioning that he's a walkie-talkie pillow. Yeah, he is. He's definitely very cut looking guy. But that's great. That really is good. Yeah, but I think I'll go and actually call it here since I do have to kind of get ready for work and other things I gotta take care of later on today. So that's pretty much it for Walrus here. I may do a little stuff with him later on before I actually go and post them up online. But thank you. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, but I appreciate all you that kind of dropped them for today, stream, even though it was a little bit shorter than usual. Sorry I started a little late this go around. Yeah, I hope I'll try to get better actually starting on time this go around. But in the meantime, yeah, I hope to see you guys later. Hopefully, I think I do have to work tomorrow though, but I do plan on actually like dropping in for a stream before I have to go in. So I'll definitely be there, drop in tomorrow before I have to go in. So until then, guys, I hope you all have a great Saturday. I hope to talk to you all next time.